Joining me now is Missouri Senator Josh Hawley. Senator, I saw this, and it's so bad in Washington now that all my reaction now is, of course they did. Doesn't surprise me one bit.
Well, and it truly, though, is totally unbelievable, Laura. And it just shows you, I mean, if you are now searching for people, conducting financial surveillance on people who shop at Bass Pro Shops, which was one of the search terms, and who buy Bibles, which is another search term, that's like 3/4 of America. I mean, it just makes you wonder, why is the Biden administration so afraid of Americans? That this is what they're doing, spying on all of our accounts. And as for the banks, Laura, all I can say is these guys act like they own us. I mean, they take our money, they expect us to bail them out at every turn, and then they don't miss an opportunity to sell us out to the government and get right back in line for another handout. My conclusion is these people, the government, the banks, they need to start working for us again. We don't work for them, they work for us. It's time that they started acting like it.
Well, people have a lot of choices in banking. They can go to smaller community banks. They can go to the bigger banks, but people can choose, and if they find this stuff to be objectionable, which I'm sure a lot of people do, they can go elsewhere. Bank of America did give us a statement tonight, Senator, and they said we followed all applicable laws in our interactions with the Trump administration's Treasury Department and law enforcement. These interactions began when the Trump administration's Treasury Department urgently gathered major banks and law enforcement on January 15th, 2021, and shared information regarding potential criminal activity that could disrupt the upcoming inauguration. So, Senator, they're pegging it on this is just sensible. And look, technically, Donald Trump was still president. So, technically, this was his Treasury Department. But we all know these are swamp bureaucrats burrowed in. These aren't political appointees at these places.
Oh, sure. And the banks just have the best interests of their customers at heart. And that's why they rushed to turn over all of this personal financial data. That's why they rushed to, quote unquote, cooperate by spying on their own customers. And this is outrageous behavior, Laura. And everybody knows that these banks, again, they are first in line to get a handout when it's bailout time. They are first in line to say that we need to pay them so they can keep operating. But boy, when it comes time to turn a profit, when it comes time to stay tight with big government, they are happy to sell us out in a heartbeat. I just hope that everybody out there realizes that these big banks, the big bank, big government collusion continues. These people are not our friends.
Now, well, this has been going on for years and years. That's why the bank bailouts in 2008 were a disaster. I mean, all of that, TARP 1, TARP 2, and all these Republicans voting for it. Senator, I have to ask you about this border deal, which is in the works. We have good reason to believe the bill is largely already written, although they're like, oh, we haven't negotiated all the points yet. I mean, it's ridiculous. I know how these things work. What is your message to Senate leadership, given the fact that we're going to have an election in, several months, and President Trump, if he's elected, in 24 hours, we'll have this border largely secure?
My message is that it would be an incredible insult to voters all across America to tell them that they've got to accept 50,000 more green cards every year. They've got to accept 5,000 illegal immigrants crossing the border every single day before the border can be shut down. They've got to accept expedited work permits for illegal aliens. These are all things that are supposedly in this deal, which, by the way, I haven't seen. Nobody's seen. We're told it's a great deal. Nobody's seen it. But everything that dribbles out about it's horrible.
Yeah.
Of course they do.
No, they want to hide it as long as possible.
Scrutiny.
So it's, Friday night dump. That's my prediction. Senator, thank you. Great to see you tonight.